Day 41, Egypt and Exodus, Exodus 23, Leviticus 16, Psalm 76. Let's begin. Exodus 23. You shall not accept a lying voice. Neither shall you join your hands so as to give false testimony on behalf of the impious. You shall not follow the crowd in doing evil. Neither shall you go astray in judgment, by agreeing with the majority opinion, apart from the truth. Likewise, you shall not show pity in judgment of the poor. If you come across an ox or a donkey of your enemy, which has gone astray, lead it back to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you, fallen under its burden, you shall not pass by without lifting it up with him. You shall not deviate in judgment of the poor. You shall flee from lies. The innocent and the just you shall not kill. For I shun the impious. Neither shall you accept bribes, which blind even the prudent and subvert the words of the just. You shall not harass a sojourner, for you know the life of a newcomer. For you yourselves also were sojourners in the land of Egypt. For 6 years you shall sow your land and gather its produce. But in the 7th year you shall release it and cause it to rest, so that the poor of your people may eat. And whatever remains, let the beasts of the field eat it. So shall you do with your vineyard and your olive grove. For 6 days you shall work. On the 7th day you shall cease, so that your ox and your donkey may rest, and so that the newcomer and the son of your handmaid may be refreshed. Preserve all that I have said to you. And by the names of foreign gods you shall not swear, either shall these be heard from your mouth. 3 times in each year you shall celebrate feasts to me. You shall keep the solemnity of unleavened bread. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, just as I instructed you, at the time of the month of new grain, when you departed from Egypt. You shall not appear empty-handed in my sight. For it is the solemnity of the harvest of the first fruits of your work, of whatever you have sown in the field. Likewise, it is the solemnity at the end of the season, when you will have gathered in all your crops from the field. 3 times a year, all your males shall appear before the Lord your God. You shall not immolate the blood of my victim over leaven, nor shall the fat of my solemnity remain until morning. You shall carry the first grain of the land to the house of the Lord your God. You shall not cook a young goat in the milk of its mother. Behold, I will send my angel, who will go before you, and preserve you on your journey, and lead you into the place that I have prepared. Heed him, and hear his voice, and do not hold him in disregard. For he will not release you when you have sinned, and my name is in him. But if you listen to his voice and do all that I say, I will be an enemy to your enemies, and I will afflict those who afflict you. And my angel will go before you, and he will bring you to the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Canaanite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, whom I will crush. You shall not adore their gods, nor worship them. You shall not do their works, but you shall destroy them and break apart their statues. And you shall serve the Lord your God, so that I may bless your bread and your waters, and so that I may take away sickness from your midst. There will not be fruitless or barren ones in your land. I will fill up the number of your days. I will send my terror to run ahead of you, and I will kill all the people to whom you will enter. And I will turn the backs of all your enemies before you, sending wasps ahead, so that they will put to flight the Hivite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, before you enter. I will not cast them out from your face in 1 year, lest the land be reduced to a wilderness, and the wild beasts increase against you. I will expel them little by little from your sight, until you have expanded and may possess the land. Then I will set your limits to be from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Palestinians, and from the desert all the way to the river. I will deliver into your hands the inhabitants of the land, and I will cast them out from your sight. You shall not enter into a pact with them, nor with their gods. They may not live on your land, lest perhaps they may cause you to sin against me, if you serve their gods, which certainly would be a temptation for you. Leviticus 16. And the Lord spoke to Moses, after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, when they were destroyed for offering strange fire. And he instructed him, saying, Speak to your brother Aaron, so that he may not, at any time, enter into the sanctuary, which is within the veil, before the propitiatory by which the ark is covered, so that he may not die, for I will appear in a cloud above the oracle. Unless he will have done these things beforehand. He shall offer a calf for sin, and a ram as a holocaust. He shall be vested with a linen tunic. He shall conceal his nakedness with linen undergarments. He shall be wrapped with a linen belt, and he shall impose a linen headdress on his head. For these are holy vestments. All of these he shall put on, after he has been washed. And he shall receive, from the entire multitude of the sons of Israel, 2 he-goats for sin, and 1 ram as a holocaust. And when he has presented the calf, and has prayed for himself, and for his own house, he shall cause the 2 he-goats to stand in the sight of the Lord at the entrance to the tabernacle of the testimony. And casting lots over them both, one is to be offered to the Lord, and the other is to be the emissary goat. The one whose lot fell out to be offered to the Lord, he shall offer for sin. But the one who is to be the emissary goat shall stand before the Lord, so that he may pour the prayers upon him, and may send him away into the wilderness. After these things have been duly celebrated, he shall offer the calf, and praying for himself and for his own house, he shall immolate it. And taking up the censer, which he has filled from the burning coals of the altar, and drawing up with his hands the aromatic compound for incense, he shall enter within the veil, into the holy place. So that when the aromatics are placed upon the fire, its cloud and vapor may cover the oracle, which is above the testimony, and he may not die. Likewise he shall take some of the blood of the calf, and sprinkle it with his finger 7 times opposite the propitiatory, toward the east. And when he has slain the he-goat for the sin of the people, he shall carry its blood within the veil, just as he was instructed to do with the blood of the calf, so that he may sprinkle it away from the area of the oracle, and so that he may expiate the sanctuary from the uncleanness of the sons of Israel, and from their prevarications and every one of their sins. According to this rite, he shall act toward the tabernacle of the testimony, which is fixed among them in the midst of the filth of their habitation. Let no man be in the tabernacle when the high priest enters the sanctuary in order to pray for himself, and for his house, and for the entire assembly of Israel, until he exits. And when he has exited to the altar which is before the Lord, let him pray for himself, and taking the blood of the calf, and of the he-goat, let him pour it upon its horns all around. And sprinkling with his finger 7 times, let him expiate and sanctify it from the uncleanness of the sons of Israel. After he has cleansed the sanctuary, and the tabernacle, and the altar, then let him offer the living goat. And placing both hands upon its head, let him confess all the iniquities of the sons of Israel, and all of their offenses and sins. And calling these down upon its head, he shall send it away, by means of a man prepared to do so, into the desert. And when the goat has carried all their iniquities into a solitary land, and has been released into the desert, Aaron shall return into the tabernacle of the testimony, and placing aside the vestments, which he had worn before when he entered into the sanctuary, and leaving them there, he shall wash his flesh in the holy place, and he shall be clothed in his own garments. And departing afterwards, he shall present his own holocaust and that of the people. He shall pray as much for himself as for the people. And the fat which is offered for sins, he shall burn upon the altar. Yet truly, he who has sent away the emissary goat shall wash his clothes and his body with water, and so he shall enter into the camp. But the calf and the he-goat, which were immolated for sin, and whose blood was brought into the sanctuary to complete the expiation, these shall be carried outside the camp and be burned with fire, as with their skins, so also with their flesh and dung. And whoever will have burned them shall wash his clothes and flesh with water, and so he shall enter into the camp. And this shall be to you an everlasting ordinance. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls, and you shall do no work, either someone native born, nor the newcomer who sojourns among you. On this day, there shall be atonement for you, and also a cleansing from all your sins. You shall be cleansed in the sight of the Lord. For it is a Sabbath of rest, and you shall afflict your souls as a perpetual observance. And the priest who has been anointed, and whose hands have been consecrated to exercise the priesthood in the place of his father, shall make atonement. And he shall be clothed with the linen robe and the holy vestments. And he shall expiate the sanctuary and the tabernacle of the testimony and the altar, likewise the priest and all the people. And this shall be to you a perpetual law, that you pray for the sons of Israel, and for all their sins once a year. Therefore, he did just as the Lord had instructed Moses. Psalm 76. Unto the end. For Jeduthun. A psalm of Asaph. I cried out to the Lord with my voice, to God with my voice, and he attended to me. In the days of my tribulation, I sought God, with my hands opposite him in the night, and I was not deceived. My soul refused to be consoled. I was mindful of God, and I was delighted, and I was distressed, and my spirit fell away. My eyes anticipated the vigils. I was disturbed, and I did not speak. I considered the days of antiquity, and I held the years of eternity in my mind. And I meditated in the night with my heart, and I was distressed, and I examined my spirit. So then, will God reject for eternity? Will he not continue to allow himself to show favor? Or will he cut off his mercy in the end, from generation to generation? And would God ever forget to be merciful? Or would he, in his wrath, restrict his mercies? And I said, Now I have begun. This change is from the right hand of the Most High. I was mindful of the works of the Lord. For I will be mindful from the beginning of your wonders. And I will meditate on all your works. And I will take part in your intentions. Your way, O God, is in what is holy. Which God is great like our God? You are the God who performs miracles. You have made your virtue known among the peoples. With your arm, you have redeemed your people, the sons of Jacob and of Joseph. The waters saw you, O God, the waters saw you, and they were afraid, and the depths were stirred up. Great was the sound of the waters. The clouds uttered a voice. For your arrows also pass by. The voice of your thunder is like a wheel. Your flashes have illuminated the whole world. The earth has quaked and trembled. Your way is through the sea, and your paths are through many waters. And your traces will not be known. You have conducted your people like sheep, by the hand of Moses and Aaron.